Hello students! This video will help you to be ready for part 3 of the assignment. Before we start though, a reminder about calculators. These problems are to be done without a calculator. If you're going to go on and take math classes after this one, these are things you must be able to do in your head without a calculator. Otherwise, you will really struggle in future math classes. Challenge yourself. You can do these. What we're doing today are adding integers. Some of you are already very good at adding integers. If that's the case, this is just review for you. If, on the other hand, you've always used a calculator and never really learned the rules, well, let's learn the rules for adding integers. First, let's just talk about what it means to add integers. What does 6 plus 4 really mean? If I start by moving to the right 6, and then move to the right 4 more, well, if I move 6 to the right and then 4 more to the right, that's why 6 plus 4 gives me 10. What about negative 6 plus negative 4? This means move 6 to the left, then move 4 more to the left. If I move 6 to the left, then move 4 more to the left, I end up at negative 10. This problem says to move 6 to the right, but then 4 to the left. 6 plus negative 4. Move 6 to the right, but then move 4 to the left. If I move 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, I end up at positive 2. Negative 6 plus 4. Move 6 to the left, then 4 to the right. Move 6 to the left, then move 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I end up at negative 2. Are there rules that can kind of summarize what we just saw? Let's see. If these have the same sign, both positive, then we add the numbers together. If these have the same sign, both negative, then we add the numbers together, but we keep the negative. So if the signs are the same, both negative or both positive, we add and keep the sign. If we have a positive number and a negative number, we actually subtract. We took the difference between 6 and 4. If we have a positive number and a negative number, we subtract them, and the answer is 2. If the bigger number is positive, then our answer is positive. If the bigger number is negative, then the answer is negative. Let's summarize. If the signs are different, you subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. If the signs are different, you subtract and take the sign of the larger number. Here's a nice summary of the rule. When adding numbers with the same sign, you add them and keep the sign. When adding numbers with different signs, you subtract them and take the sign of the larger number. Let's practice. In all of these sample problems, the numbers have the same sign. They're either both positive or they're both negative. Both positive or both negative. If they have the same sign, you add the numbers and you keep the sign. These numbers are both positive. We add the numbers and keep the sign. These numbers are both negative. We add the numbers and keep the sign. If they both have the same sign, you add them and you keep the sign. Both negative, we'll add them and keep the sign. -3 plus -4 is -7. +3 and +14 is +17. Because they're both positive, they have the same sign, we add and keep the sign. If they have the same sign, we add. 8 plus 3 is 11, and we keep the sign. Great. When you do your homework, here's how I want you to show your work. You write the problem down, put the answer underneath it. In a college class, you would never just turn in a whole page full of answers. You always write the problem down and put the answer along with it. Here's our chance to practice problems where the signs are different. One positive, one negative. One negative, one positive. If you've got a positive and a negative and you're adding, you actually subtract the numbers and take the sign of the larger number. If you're adding and you've got a positive and a negative, you subtract them and take the sign of the larger number. 8 is bigger than 2, so we take the sign off of the 8 and it's positive. On number 2, we have a positive and a negative. That's different signs, so we subtract. 7's bigger than 6, so we'll use its sign. That's a +1. If you have different signs, a positive and a negative, you subtract. The difference between 4 and 9 is 5. Then you take the sign of the larger number. 9's the bigger number, so we use its sign, negative. 4 plus -9 is -5. -12 plus 7, well, I've got a negative and a positive, so I subtract. 12 is the bigger number, so I use its sign. If you have different signs, subtract, take the sign of the larger number. Different signs, subtract, take the sign of the larger number. If I have a negative and a positive, I should subtract them. But 7's the bigger number, and it's negative, so the sign on my answer is also negative. Well, here's how your homework will look with the problems all mixed up. Some of them have different signs. Some of them have the same signs. Let's see if we can keep it all straight. If I have different signs, subtract and take the sign off the larger number. If I have the same signs, add and keep the sign. Here's how your homework should look. Write the problem down, put the answer underneath. Different signs, subtract. Different signs, subtract. Take the sign off the larger number. Great. Well, 0's nice. Anytime you add with 0, you just get the other number back again. 0 plus -3 is -3. When the signs are the same, add. When the signs are the same, add. And keep the sign. Here, I've got a positive and a negative. If the signs are different, you subtract. Take the sign off the larger number. When the signs are the same, add and keep the sign. When the signs are different, subtract and take the sign off the larger number. -4 plus 7 is 3. What's 13 plus -3? Well, the signs are different, so I subtract. 13's the larger number, so I use its sign. All right, your turn. Go do some homework. I'll see you later.